Welcome back, Fayettes, and Fantasy Fiends. You're listening to Book for Two. I'm Scott.
And I'm Genevieve. If you're new here, welcome to our brand of chaos.
We bring the male and female perspectives, the wild theories, the heated debates, and of course,
the couples banter you never knew you needed, but now you can't escape.
She likes her books full of morally great characters, spice, and enough romantasy to make a male brood for centuries.
And he likes his full of epic fantasy, sci-fi, and deep emotional character arcs that ruin his life for days.
And somehow we make it work.
And today we're doing the damn thing.
We've officially wrapped Crown of Midnight, and now it's time to break it down. Spoiler-free thoughts, full spoiler chaos, our unfiltered ratings, and of course, a game we definitely did not invent 5 minutes before recording.
Now we know what you're thinking. Book 2, and we're still doing a spoiler-free section?
Yep, because we know some of you are still deciding if this series is worth the emotional damage and time commitment.
Maybe Throne of Glass didn't hit for you. Maybe you heard it gets better and you're wondering if Crown of Midnight is where it all finally clicks. Or if you're about to DNF and walk straight into a cozy murder mystery instead.
So we're starting off with a spoiler-free section to help you out if this book is the turning point or your last stop.
Then we dive into full spoilers, character arcs, new faces, major reveals, magic, lore, and the plot twists that nearly took us out.
We'll share our memorable moments and throw on our tinfoil hats to theorize The Assassin's Blade, which is next in our reading order, and Heir of Fire, because listen, prequel or not, we do have thoughts.
Yes, we do. And because we love drama almost as much as Selena does, we've cooked up something new. The Rifthold High School Yearbook Awards. Yay!
Each character gets a most likely to superlative. We take turns, no repeats, and no shame.
Like most likely to ruin a royal ball with a sword, or most likely to join a cult and make it worse.
It's spoiler-free, just pure chaos and a side of sass.
And once the glitter settles, we'll wrap up with our final spoiler-free ratings. Plot, pacing, spice, emotional destruction, all of it.
If you're only here for the non-spoiler review, feel free to skip ahead, but trust us, you're going to want to stick around for the Yearbook Awards.
All that to say, are we professional book critics?
Nope.
Are we qualified?
Debatable.
But are we going to give you a completely honest, no BS review with our unfiltered opinions?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
We're just two book lovers who read, rant, and sometimes regret our life choices. So if you want the good, the bad, and the why did we do this to ourselves moments, you're in the right place.
But before we dive in, we do have to talk about our weekend because we lived our best fantasy lives, didn't we?
Oh, we totally did. We went to the Fantasy Fae Ball in Destin, Florida, and it was straight up magical.
We would love to give a shout out to Ashley Long. So if you're listening, you totally crushed it. Seriously, the whole event felt like stepping into Valeris on a good night.
Oh, it was also extra in the best way. Flower crowns, there were themed cocktails. There were winged people everywhere.
And everybody came dressed to slay. I went full Lucian Vencera, red hair, fox mask, brooding trauma energy. You know, the usual.
You actually pulled it off way better than I expected. That jacket was doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Well, thank you. But listen, it's not easily channeling the most sarcastic fox in Perinthian. But let's be real, you, babe, were the showstopper.
Oh, stop.
Hello, nurse.
Oh my gosh, Scott. Ugh.
Yeah, you came in as Amarin, and I swear the whole ballroom paused. You were lethal. Straight up soul devouring.
Oh, well, I was channeling a tiny ancient being of unknowable power.
Hey,
so...
feel free to wear that dress anytime you want, even around the house.
Okay. Dial it back before you start writing fanfic here in front of everybody.
Might be a little too late. I've already outlined our trilogy.
Okay, I'm not shocked by that. Speaking of things that aren't shocking...
Yes. As always, we must do our shameless plug because without it, we will not be able to reach other wonderful people in our book lovers community. So please be sure to subscribe, follow, and review our show on your favorite podcast platform. Your support means everything to us.
Make sure you're following us on social media for behind-the-scenes content, sneak peeks, and updates. Plus, every Saturday, Sunday, we'll post the chapters we're covering in the next episode so you can read along with us.
And if you haven't already, come hang out in our Discord. Want to scream about plot twists in real time? Theories? Unhinged book rants at 2 a.m. We've got a space for that. Our Bookish Chaos crew is growing fast and it's a vibe. Grab the link from our socials or in the episode description and come join us. Zero judgment, just pure reader energy.
And now you can also watch us on YouTube. Yes, you can see our beautiful, overly expressive faces as we rant, rave, and occasionally lose our minds over fictional characters.
Full disclosure, since I do all the editing while being a husband, dad, and trying to keep my job, those video episodes will drop either Thursday or Friday, depending on how much real life lifting I have that week.
We also want you to get to know us, so join us every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Central for a live Q&A on our YouTube and TikTok profiles. We'll answer your burning questions, react to your theories, throw out some of our own, probably argue over which fantasy hero would survive a reality show.
Oh, and stickers and bookmarks are available whether you want to deck out your water bottle, Kindle, laptop, or just pretend to be organized with a cute bookmark. We have you covered. Get them at bookedfor2.com or through the link in our socials.
And before we dive in, this episode contains spoilers for Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. So if you're not caught up, well, consider this your official warning.
Also, fair heads up, this is an adult content show. We swear. We talk about murder, morally questionable characters, and let's be real, there's a very good chance we're going to discuss some spicy scenes in graphic detail.
I hope so. If you're looking for a wholesome book club experience, well, that's adorable, but you might be in the wrong place.
Last but not least, don't forget the Assassin's Blade kicks off on April 3rd, so you've got little time to prep, cry, and emotionally unravel with us.
All right, the spoiler warning has been dropped. The tea is hot, and the chaos is ready.
Let's dive into the official Book 4-2 rating and review of Crown of Midnight.
Yes, let's turn the page.
Before we unleash the full spoiler-filled chaos, we're kicking things off with a spoiler-free discussion. So if you haven't read Crown of Midnight yet and want to know if it's worth the hype, stick around. We'll break it all down for you and let you know our thoughts.
Okay, Crown of Midnight is where the Throne of Glass series stops playing court games and starts throwing knives. Selena is now the king's champion, which sounds like a promotion until you realize she's basically a royal hitman with a moral compass and a ton of secrets.
Yeah, it's given Skyrim Dark Brotherhood meets corporate espionage. She's pretending to follow orders while quietly planning her own rebellion, and the deeper she digs, the more you realize this isn't just politics anymore. There's ancient magic bubbling under the surface, monsters showing up in crypts, and a kingdom that's way darker than anyone signed up for.
And the pacing? Look, this is peak Sarah J. Maas. She lulls you into a false sense of security with some romantic tension, maybe a cutesy moment. And then, boom, someone's getting mauled by a shadow demon. Listen, it's emotional whiplash in the best way.
It's kind of like riding Space Mountain in the dark. You're screaming, you're thrilled, you can't see what's coming, and you're just praying you don't fly it off. The balance of action, emotion, and humor, nailed it. And that ending, you know SJM sticks the landing, but this one slaps.
Speaking of slapping, Selena's mouth is lethal in this book. The banter has evolved. We're not flirting anymore. We're declaring war with words. Her comebacks are so sharp, I caught myself highlighting whole paragraphs. It's elegant, savage, and sometimes so vulnerable it actually hurts.
And that's the thing. It's not just witty banter for fun. Every line has weight. Her sarcasm is a shield. Half the time she's throwing daggers with her words. The other half she's barely holding herself together. The writing makes that tension so clear, and it hits hard.
Which brings us straight into the themes. This book is all about grief. Raw, gnarly, real-ass grief. Selena is not okay, and the book doesn't pretend that she's okay. Her drama isn't just a backstory bullet point. It's literally driving everything. Every choice, every lie, every wall she puts up.
And no one else is getting off easy either. Trust is paper thin in this book. People lie. They betray each other. They make gut-wrenching decisions that don't have clean answers. You're constantly asking, who do I believe? Who deserves a second chance? And what happens when your loyalty hurts the people you love?
And all of that's happening under a king who's slowly turning the entire kingdom into a damn surveillance state. The authoritarian vibes are real. People are disappearing. Rumors are getting silenced. Magic is still being hunted. It's like if the Empire from Star Wars was run by someone who didn't even bother with a mask.
And that tension bleeds into the writing. SJM is fully in control now. Every sentence has purpose. It's cleaner, sharper, more intentional than Throne of Glass. She's planting seeds, dropping names, hiding clues like it's a goddamn fetch quest. If you blink, you miss something that comes back to bite you later.
I was reading like a damn conspiracy theorist with a corkboard. And the best part, the foreshadowing pays off. You'll hit a twist and go, hey, she set that up like 10 chapters ago. It's brilliant, it's maddening, and it makes rereads even better.
So here's the thing. If you read The Assassin's Blade first and you're still on the fence now, this series might not be for you. And if you came in expecting another ACOTAR, all fey wings and steamy forests, you're in the wrong damn franchise.
But if you want rich fantasy with killer pacing, actual emotional stakes, morally gray chaos, ancient magic, a little romance, and a lot of heartbreak, then welcome. This is the book where it all starts to shift.
This is the point where it stops being, oh cool, assassin girl, and becomes, holy shit, this world is huge and everything is connected.
So stick with us. Block off a little time for emotional recovery, maybe grab a drink when you hit the end, and trust the process.
Because this one doesn't just scar you, it hooks you, and you will want answers. All right, that wraps up our spoiler-free discussion. If this convinced you to read Crown of Midnight, pause here, grab the book, listen to our deep dive, and then come back when you're ready to scream about it with us.
Because up next, we are diving straight into spoilers. And trust me, you don't want to hear those by accident. This is your last warning. If you're still in spoiler-free mode, skip ahead now.
All right, you've been warned. Let's get into it.
Woo! All right, y'all, this is your official spoiler warning. We're about to dive into all the plot twists, heartbreaks, betrayals, and assassins doing assassin things.
If you haven't finished Crown of Midnight and you don't want your soul shattered prematurely, skip ahead to the spoiler-free rating. You have been warned.
Okay, we're starting in 3, 2...
Everyone dies.
Scott.
What? I'm kidding. That was a test. Did your heart stop? Good. That means you need to go.
Seriously. Last chance. Flee now or forever hold your spoiled peace.
All right. For real. 3, 2, 1.
And now for real, let's ruin your life. All right. Selena is finally delivering on the assassin hype. She's walking into rooms like she owns the place. Cape billowing. Love that. Throwing her feet up on tables, smirking like she's already 2 steps ahead. Honestly, this is icon behavior.
Yeah, we finally got to see her doing some actual assassin work. Not off screen either. It felt earned. And that ending, when she finally accepts that she is Aelin Ash River Galathinius, she absolutely nailed it.
I mean, how many names does this girl have, though?
Right?
Selena, Aelin, Lena, Elentia, Queen of the Underworld, Otterland's Assassin, King's Champion. It's a fantasy RPG name generator gone wild.
Yes, it is. But it's also her swan moment. Literally, she was in her swan dress at Archer's party, and now she's stepping into who she was meant to be, which I called.
Yes, you did.
Even after all she's been through, her parents, Sam and Dovier, and now Nehemia, she's still trying to cling on to this idea of a normal life. But by the end, she finally understands that it's not hers. Not yet.
That grief hits hard. It's messy. It doesn't tie up neatly. And watching her carry that weight while trying to figure out who the hell she's supposed to be, that's the emotional core of this book.
And then there's Kale. Let's be real, he was a snooze in book 1.
He really was. Captain of the guard with a personality of beige. But now there's actual depth. He's still loyal to a fault, but at least we're seeing him struggle with that.
And that struggle matters. His loyalty to the crown, even when he didn't agree with it, helped get Nehemia killed. Now, he didn't pull the trigger, but his inaction was just as damaging, and now he's carrying that guilt like a backpack full of bricks.
Aw. He's beating himself up, and he's trying to make it right the only way he knows how, of course, by sacrificing his own happiness. The whole, I'll just go back to NEL with my abusive dad plan. That is classic self-punishment arc.
But I will give him this. His heart is in the right place. And hey, at least he's not secretly a Feus. I had concerns.
I did too. And he finally realized that Selena's "you'll always be my enemy" line wasn't actually about him. It was about the whole system he serves. And that's growth too. Then we've got Delulu Dorian, our sweet magical cinnamon roll.
Now, he definitely took a step back from the spotlight in this book so Kale and Selena could, angst it up with their love story. But his magical arc, I loved it. Watching him unlock that power and not immediately crumble like a wet paper towel, that's a big win for him.
Oh, I loved that for him. Still mad that he didn't take Nehemia up on her offer, though, to help train him. That was a miss.
He's not like his father, and he knows it, but now he's starting to get involved in the politics, and that's dangerous ground because Nehemia gave him that little speech. He was able to manipulate his cousin, at least we think so. I'm curious to see if he will lose himself into politics in the future to keep him distracted from losing his best friend, Aunt Selena.
Probably. Either way, he's learning fast. He needs to trust someone soon, though, or this power is really going to isolate him completely, especially with both of them gone.
All right, let's talk about it. Nehemia, the emotional gut punch of the book.
I am not okay. I'm still not okay. Like, where is Nehemia?
Yeah, but chapter 25 confirms it. She knew. She chose this, and I get it. I'm not mad at her for the sacrifice. I totally get what she had to do. I'm mad at the ripple effect that it left behind.
She believed her death would spark real change, but it broke everyone around her. Selena, Kale, and even Dorian. And yeah, Archer was involved, but Nehemia moved to number 1 on the blame board for me, and then Kale is third.
Now, what sealed it for me was the moment at the end. As you mentioned, Selena asked Elena if Nehemia orchestrated it all, and Elena says nothing. That silence is more than a confession.
She was the light of Elway, and her loss is still burning. I am still sad.
Me too.
All right, switching gears. Let's talk about the King of Otterland. Why is he still unnamed? He's still terrifying.
I feel like she's doing that on purpose, but he finally searched his own castle at, well, I shouldn't say finally, he did at 20 years old, which made me eat my words. I've been calling him a dumbass for not noticing the magic under his feet, and then boom, he has been 10 steps ahead this whole time.
I think SJM's playing the long game here, drip feeding the big bad until he goes full Thanos snap later in the series.
Hey, he's at least got 1 word key, probably 2. And let's not ignore the mirror thing with Baba Yellow Legs. That's not just interior design. Something's brewing.
I don't know about that mirror thing. I'm still tripping on that. Let's shift gears again into some of the new players that this book introduced. Let's start with Archer Finn.
Former courtesan, current traitor, forever slimeball. He pretends to be helping the rebellion, but is actually just helping himself. The second I saw that wolf mask, I knew turd burglar energy.
I fully bought his charm at first. I thought he was shady but harmless, and then boom, he's knee-deep in the murder plot. But honestly, good riddance to him now. You totally called it with that wolf, right? The wolf?
Yeah, the
wolf mask. Oh, you were spot on with that. And
SJM
I was like,
loves doing that stuff, the little details. It's all about the little details.
I guess I wasn't fully on board with her in those little details yet.
Next up, Roland Havillard, Dorian's cousin, Chaos Gremlin, potential villain sidekick. He was given a magical ring, and he's given off I'm hiding something vibes. And then he steals Kale's girl in the past, his Rosamund, if you will.
And then he starts getting headaches also. So Roland's now having headaches. So is it mind control like Kaltane?
Maybe.
Guilt? I don't think it's guilt. Either way, I don't trust him. He's got that. I'm definitely probably playing both sides. Definitely. And all right, let's not forget Mort, our sarcastic, magical door knocker trapped in a tomb. He exists purely to roast people who ask dumb questions.
And I love him for that. He's like if a brass knucker had a podcast and no filter. Honestly, I want him everywhere. Put him on Selena's belt like a talking accessory. Give me Mort Unleashed.
I'd watch that.
And finally, Baba Yellowlegs, a high-ranking Iron Teeth witch who rolls in a town looking like a literal nightmare and drops some serious lore before being brutally murdered.
Her scenes were creepy as hell, but so good. She's considered a queen among the Iron Teeth clans, which means the witches are definitely going to want revenge. Also, what was up with the king buying her mirrors? That's still bugging me.
The vibes were cursed, the lore was great, and I'm terrified of who the witches send next. Hey, it's Rompier! And we need more. I demand more. This book did not have enough of our girl. I need some batshit, pun intended, crazy Kaltane in my life. I hope we get more of her, but I'm scared of what the Duke is going to do to her in Morath.
Like, for real, girl, where did they actually take you? Are they somehow siphoning off your royal blood or your magic? Because she's from a royal bloodline. Does she have a ring too? I don't remember them ever saying that she had a ring.
They never said. I don't think she does. Now, all right, before we wrap up characters, let's do a few honorable mentions. Those side characters who may not have got a ton of page time, but definitely left a mark.
Starting with Duke Parrington, Duke Borrington. He wasn't actually around much in this book, but he's now off to Kalakula to stop the uprising. Everybody thinks he's off to Morath, though. He took Roland and Kaltane with him, and he appears to maybe be in charge of the experiments.
That's a good possibility. Then there's Elena, the ancient queen ghost who's like, here's a prophecy, good luck, and don't die. Her vibes are a mix of fairy godmother and exhausted ex-girl boss who's stuck giving vague spiritual guidance to the chosen one.
And we can't forget Gavin, Elena's long-dead husband and the original sword-swinging legend. He's not around much, but he's tied to Damaris and all that truth magic lore, which is definitely coming back around later.
So, are these three just here for world flavor, or are we looking at some bigger chess pieces being moved into place?
All right, that wraps up our character deep dive. Now let's shift gears and crack open the real magic behind the madness. It's time for World and Lore.
Yes, because Crown of Midnight definitely cracked open a few more secrets, some on purpose, some by accident, some via Selena just yeeting herself into the unknown.
Classic Selena. But yeah, starting with world building, nothing super new in terms of places that we physically visit. We're still stuck in Rifthold for most of the book, but we definitely did get out of the castle, finally. Baby steps.
And we do get some new names dropped, like Mia is where Roland's from. Morath is where Duke Parrington hails from, which sounds like a lovely vacation spot if you're into, haunted nightmares and demonic possession.
Right? Just a weekend getaway at scenic Morath, where the screaming never stops. But still, world-wise, most of the action stayed pretty localized.
Okay, shifting into the magic system, if we can even call it a magic system yet, it's still very redacted, thanks to our favorite king of plot suppression. We do learn that the Fae can shift forms, though, so there's at least one rule on the board now.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that while magic has been cut off everywhere else, word marks seem to be the exception. Selena's out here using them like magical cheat codes.
Exactly. She finds The Walking Dead, not the zombie apocalypse, but the sketchy old book, and uses it to draw word marks to open iron doors. And then, because apparently that wasn't enough, she just opens a whole portal to the realm of the dead.
I mean, full send, honestly. She's either a genius or a chaos gremlin with an ancient Sharpie and zero impulse control.
All right, real talk. Do you think the word marks are actual magic, or are they some kind of loophole outside the system that the king suppressed?
I think they are a type of magic, and I'm thinking something similar to Norse runes, maybe.
Okay, I like that answer. All right, now let's hit the lore dump, because this book said, you want answers? Boom. Witches, wars, and cosmic horror all in one chapter.
Shout out to Baba Yellowlegs for that. She's terrifying, unhinged, and apparently the keeper of centuries-old tea.
So here's what we get. There are two major witch factions, the Croaken Witches, who have Fey blood, and the Iron Teeth Alliance, who have Valg blood. That alliance is made up of the Blue Bloods, the Blackbeaks, and the Yellowlegs, 3 clans and 1 nightmare-fueled sisterhood.
Oh, goodness. And we haven't met any of them in depth yet. We've just heard whispers, but it's wild that the Iron Teeth Witches are literally descended from demons, while the Crokens come from the Fae. Interesting. It adds a whole new layer to this world's power struggle.
Yeah, that's not just witchy rivalry. That's a magical civil war with roots in 2 completely different bloodlines.
For sure. So here's a fun one to chew on. What do you think it would be like if the Iron Teeth and the Crokens weren't at war? Would they ever be able to work together, or would that actually break the world?
It would most likely break the world. I don't think they would ever be able to work together just because the Valg and Fae bloodlines.
That's fair. I understand that.
All right, now let's talk about the word.
Bird.
The bird's the word. Now, just to remind everybody, it is a big, ancient, cosmic force at the center of everything. It governs life, death, and magic. And it came to Aurelia through something called a word gate.
The Valg used it to invade Wendelin, and things got bad fast. So the gate was shattered into 3 word keys, and now we've got our magical MacGuffins. Each key holds immense power, and all 3 together, potential multiverse disaster.
Now, tell me this doesn't sound like the Infinity Stones. You think SJM was inspired by Marvel?
That's a fun question. It certainly kind of has that little tingle to it, doesn't it? All right, so the Fae managed to drive the Valg back, and Queen Maeve gives the keys to Brannon to hide across Aurelia. And now our girl Selena is somehow smack in the middle of that storyline.
Hey, it's just your average assassin turned world champion turned cosmic key holder. No pressure, right?
No pressure. All right. Now that we've opened portals, summoned some ancient evil, and unpacked a centuries-old witch war, let's bring it back to the ground level. It's time for memorable moments. The scenes that had us gasping, cheering, or just straight up yelling at the book.
Okay, so before we get into anything deep, I just want to say I still laugh every time you call Kale a Faeus.
Because he is. You saw the way he flinched when Selena went full Fae. That man smelled one ancient power surge and immediately booked a flight back to Aniel. He had vibes.
Look, I'm not saying he handled it well, but Book Talk slanders him like he's a literal villain of the series. I'm out here defending the man like I'm on trial. Your Honor, he's just emotionally repressed.
Yeah, well, I'll allow it. Mostly because his little romance with Selena was actually really sweet. It was brief, tragic, and absolutely doomed. But it was sweet.
It was giving Romeo and Juliet if Juliet was a knife-wielding assassin and Romeo had the emotional range of a potato. But I was invested, okay?
You know who had range, though? Mort!
Mort!
That door knocker had more personality than half the court. The moment he opened his mouth, I was like, oh! It's like if a brass Home Depot fixture started talking shit.
I love him so much. He's like if Donkey from Shrek was trapped in a tomb and had zero patience for your cryptic nonsense. I want him in every book. And honestly, Dorian and Mort need a buddy comedy spinoff, just bantering and unpacking trauma in the tomb.
Speaking of Dorian, his magic finally showing up. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I've been waiting for that moment since book 1, word 1. And the way it exploded out of him, no control, just pure power, chef's kiss.
Meanwhile, I'm over here getting emotionally wrecked because I called the king a dumbass last episode for not searching his own castle, and then he did. And SJM basically looked me in the eye and said, "Oh, you thought?"
Well, I mean, that's what you get. Honestly, the whole lore drop moment with Baba Yellowlegs, it was creepy as hell, but it was so good. You were eating that whole world building up like it was your personal buffet.
I love lore. Give me ancient gods, forgotten magic, hidden symbols, inject it straight into my veins. That's why I was so mad when they killed off Baba Yellowlegs. I was like, no, she had answers. She had more secrets.
Okay. Oh, can we get back into Selena running faster than a horse, though? That scene took me out. I was like, wait, did she just break the equine speed limit? And chucking Dorian up the stairs like he weighed next to nothing? No notes. Absolute power moves.
Poor Delulu.
Poor Delulu.
And then like 5 minutes later, she's bursting through a literal portal to save Kale and Fleetfoot, glowing like a fey goddess.
It was pure chaos. Magic. It was so satisfying. I was there for it. Plus you get the reveal and another name to add to her ever-growing list. Aelin Ashriver Galathinius.
Yes, as you mentioned earlier, she's out here collecting names like she's an MMO. Hi, I'm Selena, also Aelin, also Otterland's assassin, also Queen of the Underworld, also late for my appointment with Destiny.
And let's not forget, Archer's betrayal. I did not see that coming. I really thought he was just a sleazy flirt with good cheekbones, and then bam, he's over here plotting murders like it's just another day, like it's no big deal to him at all.
As soon as I saw him in the wolf getup, I was like, nope, turd burglar energy, do not trust, and I was right, but it still stung.
It always stings more when the betrayal's dressed well.
Okay, let's put on our tinfoil hats and go full conspiracy board because I have some thoughts and I need answers.
Always. Let's go full red string and vibes. What's first?
All right, Arobin.
Okay.
That bastard absolutely betrayed Selena and Sam. Now, we don't know the full story yet, but it's coming. I'm banking on the Assassin's Blade giving us the full emotional trauma download.
Oh, I know we're going to get wrecked. I can feel it in my bones. Do we think he actually sold them out low, like directly, or just manipulated Selena into walking into a trap?
I think he lined the whole thing up and let her walk face first into it. Power move. Dick move.
I honestly hate how likely that sounds. Okay, real question. What's up with those mirrors?
You and the damn mirrors.
Why did the king want them from Baba Yellowlegs? SJM doesn't just put stuff in there.
I know.
Like, does he want it just for aesthetics? I don't think so. There's something weird going on. I'm watching you.
You're absolutely right. The glass castle, the green glow, the creepy veins, the magical fireplace, everything is connected to that clock tower. I feel like the castle is a giant magical siphon, and the mirrors are probably tied to amplify that power.
What if the mirrors are to help him see into other realms somehow? If he could do some kind of word mark symbol to just be able to see into them, to see what's there, or to communicate to the other worlds?
It's possible.
Well, maybe it's like storing it or magical batteries. I don't know. It's giving evil Apple Store. I hate how much sense all of this makes.
Now, speaking of magical chaos, let's talk Dorian, and I am 100% convinced he's Fae.
I feel like I am 95%. His magic feels different than everything else. Like, it's not word-based. It's not the same. So do you think that the king suppressed it when he was born? Is that why he built the clock tower?
Yes, 100%. He probably manifested it when he was born, and the king either suppressed it or redirected it, and now it's coming back too strong for Dorian to hide.
Ooh, I didn't think about redirected it. So, what do you think would have happened if he had crossed through the portal with Selena? Would he have shifted too?
God, I wish he had. I want to see Dorian go full elemental Fae mode. And honestly, now that Selena's gone, I think he's going to get his own arc, playing politics and training his powers.
With Mort, obviously. Give me that buddy comedy. Here we go. I want a whole book, Dorian, and a sarcastic door knocker solving magical mysteries. Here we go. All right. Ooh, I got another wild theory. Someone still has to find the third word key. Who is it going to be?
It's probably going to be Kale. She did give him the info, gave him the Eye of Elena. He needs a purpose.
Yes.
Give that man a horse, a sword, and a quest, so he stops wallowing in emotion and self-destruction while he's an Aniel.
Seriously, honestly though, if anyone deserves a good side quest arc, it's him. I'm okay with that.
Now, while we're on the side quest arcs, let's talk villains. What is Lord Parrington doing in Calicula? He's not just supervising. I think he's recruiting for experiments. I think he's gathering participants for those gross magical studies and turning them into monsters like the one in the library.
Caltain's totally going to be one of them though, right? I don't want her to be one. She's got the royal blood. She's possibly magical. And now she's locked away with the creepiest man in the kingdom. So I bet that girl is going to come back dangerous.
Side quest.
Oh, yes.
There is a very small tinfoil hat rumor going around on TikTok that it's possible Kaltain is the Weaver in the ACOTAR series.
Ooh.
It's not connected yet. It's just a giant tinfoil hat rumor I've seen come up a couple times on TikTok.
And the ACOTAR series is not finished yet.
Yes. Now, I hope that doesn't spoil anything for anybody because I don't know if Kaltain gets powers. We're assuming because her family's powerful and she's being experimented on. We're going to assume she gets powers.
I want her to.
Yes. All right. So, you ready?
Yes.
Side quest complete.
Okay.
And I'm ready for that Dark Kaltain arc. And I'm very excited, yet terrified.
I am also very excited. I'm not terrified, though. I'm just super excited. All right, let's talk about Roland. I've really got nothing on him. He's giving weird vibes, probably working with the king and Parrington, but also he has headaches. Is he mind controlled? Is he half mind controlled? Is he possessed? What's going on with him?
That's a good question. He's actually probably my biggest question mark out of everybody. But I don't trust him. He's either a full-blown villain or a red herring. I don't think there's an in-between.
I agree.
Okay, one last one.
Okay.
And it's way out there.
Okay.
Because, I'm obsessed with the little feet from the forest.
And the flowers.
Details, man. Details.
Hey, yep.
Okay.
Details.
All right. So, what if, I still think it could be Brannon sending Elena or Gavin, but what if it's Mab/Deanna?
Okay. All right. That's spicy. Mab sending Ghost and Metal and Royal Affairs. All right. Brandon's still kicking it in the woods somewhere, being cryptic grandpa.
That's giving me ancient forest grandpa energy. I'm ready.
Oh, baby. One more thing. Bobby Yellowlegs is dead. You know they're going to come after Selena or after someone because they don't know who did it. And they're not going to send a polite warning about it either.
Oh, no. The revenge is coming. And I want it to be messy and magical and full of teeth. No pun intended.
So normal Tuesday in Aurelia?
That's what it sounds like. Okay, well, that wraps up our spoiler discussion for Crown of Midnight. And up next, we have our brand new game called Rifthold High School Yearbook. You are not going to want to miss this one. It is going to be absolutely chaotic. Are you ready to go?
I am ready. Let's go. Okay, picture this. Rifthold High School, senior year. The yearbook committee has fully imploded.
Like somebody accidentally summoned a demon during third period. Half the student council joined a death cult, and a Ritterak might have eaten the valedictorian.
So obviously, we stepped in to save the day. You're welcome. This is the Most Likely To Rifthold edition, the game where we hand out superlatives to our favorite chaotic gremlins from the book.
Here's how it works. One of us throws out a most likely to category, like most likely to commit tax fraud and still get a book deal.
Or most likely to catch feelings for their assassin.
And the other person has to name which character fits that title. No prep, no warning, just pure unfiltered chaos.
And definitely no wrong answers, except yours. Yours might be wrong.
Whoa, okay, off to a strong start.
Let's go!
All right, so you go first. So you said you had 10?
Yes, I have 10.
And you want me to pick a number,
yes.
And that'll be the one. That's a good way to do it. Okay, 7.
Okay. Most likely to keep a demon in his desk drawer.
Ooh, okay. That could be a lot of people, but I think for me, the most obvious choice is going to be Duke Parrington. I think that's what he has in Morath. He's got some demons just hanging out, all the things that he's created there. So that'd be a good one for me. What do you think?
That was a really good guess.
Okay.
I am pleasantly surprised. Okay, good job.
All right, so I have 11. So 1 through 11, pick your poison.
Oh, man, I always pick number 7, but I don't want to be the same as you. So 4.
4.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Most likely to form a rebellion just to make a point.
Just to make a point.
Create an entire rebellion just to make a point.
I mean, I feel like that's Archer.
Okay, explain.
But I don't know what his point would be. That he's better than everybody?
I mean, that's kind of what he's done. I mean, he's created this rebellion just to prove a point to the king.
Yeah. I'm going to say Archer.
Okay, Archer.
Yeah.
Ugh, Archer. But that's a good choice. I mean, it does fit that role.
Yeah. Who is it in your mind?
Oh, I mean, it could be Archer, Nehemia, maybe even Selena, depending.
Yeah, could be Selena too.
But probably I would have said, Nehemia or Archer, because they both already did it. Would have worked for me.
Now it's your turn.
Okay, 2.
Oh, this is a really good one.
All right.
Most likely to betray you for your own good.
Archer. Because that's exactly what he thought he was doing. He thought that he was betraying Nehemia for the good of the rebellion.
I mean, that is a really good guess, too.
Fucking Archer.
I was thinking someone else when I was thinking of that one.
Okay, who are you thinking?
I was thinking of Kale.
Okay, why is that?
Because of the whole not telling Selena and Nehemia about the threat on her life.
Okay.
He
I see
thought
that,
he was
yeah.
doing it for their own good.
Okay, but now you see why I probably didn't choose Kale, because I don't think of it as betrayal.
Yes. And you know what I also see? I see that freaking stag back there.
What? Oh.
I just now noticed it. Little turd.
Hi, he's there.
All right.
Hanging out on the book there.
My turn to
Your
pick
turn.
a number. Let's go with 8.
8.
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Most likely to burn the world for revenge. And we cannot use the same people that we said. I mean, you can use what I've said, but you can't use what you've already said.
Most likely to burn the world
For revenge.
Revenge.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's an obvious one to me. There's 2 obvious ones. There's one that's extremely obvious, and there's a fun one that I think would be fun.
I want to say Rompier.
Yes, you picked the fun one.
Rompier! Woo! Come on,
Our girl.
Caltaine.
We need a whole book of her.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Also, Selena.
Yeah,
I could see
Selena was the obvious choice because that's what she's doing right now. She's going to burn the world for revenge. But yeah, Caltaine, I think, but hers is going to be a personal revenge.
Yes.
Selena's doing it to free the world. Caltaine is like, all these experiments, you're fucked.
I love it so much.
I did 7 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do 8.
All right, this is a good one.
Okay.
Most likely to monologue right before you stab him.
Damn it, I can't use Archer? I mean, well, there's 2 other obvious ones. So
Yes.
I
Who's the other obvious
Yeah,
one?
well, I can't use Parrington either. So the last one left is the king.
That's fair. That's fair. But you would have picked who first?
Archer.
Yeah,
Because he
for
monologued
sure.
already.
That was who I had in mind when I thought of that one was Archer.
Yeah, but since I already picked him for the
Yep.
first, but surprisingly, the king hasn't monologued yet. So we're waiting for his monologue.
I feel like he doesn't talk much at all.
He's mysterious.
Very mysterious.
Okay, so your turn.
Okay. I've done 4 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do. You said you have 11.
Yes.
I want to know what number 11 is.
Oh, this is a good one.
Okay.
All right. Now look at your list of characters
Okay.
because there should be one. Most likely to annoy you the whole way to Mordor if they were Sam to your Frodo. So if you were Frodo and they were your Sam, who would annoy you and do basically the opposite of Sam the whole way to Mordor?
I feel like
I don't think we have his name on here. You do not have his name on here. But you know who I'm thinking of. Knock, knock.
Mort.
Yes. That's exactly what I thought of when I wrote this. How do we not have him on our list?
I do.
I failed. Okay.
I do have him on mine.
Was that who you were thinking? Did I give you
Yes.
the hint?
No,
Okay.
that's who I was thinking of. I was
Yeah.
like, immediately, who are you going to take with you? Because we talked about if only she could take him off of the door and like take him to there. Like, come on, let's go.
So you want to do one more?
Yes, one more.
All right. I'm going to cut it right in the middle and do number 5.
All right. Most likely to have a villain arc.
Ooh. Okay. Caltaine.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm going Caltaine. Villain arc after all the experiments that happened to her.
I have at the very end of it, most likely to have a villain arc. We hope, but I
Yeah.
knew the we hope was going to give it away 100%. So I was like, I'm not saying that.
I mean, Roland would be another one because we don't know anything about him.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a fun game. We're definitely going to have to do this one again. If you guys like this one, we can do this one when we meet new characters because we know we're going to Wendelin, right?
Yes, right.
So we're going to meet a whole ton of new characters. We can do this again and see what we come up with.
All right. I love it. This was really fun.
All right. So let's get down to our final rating for Crown of Midnight.
I love it. Let's go. All right. Let's do it. It's time for our official rating because judging fictional people and their questionable choices is our favorite sport.
We're talking spice, stakes, and sheer emotional damage. The Holy Trinity.
Before we get into it, you're probably going to notice something. Scott and I do not rate books the same way, like at all.
It's true. We exist on 2 completely different planes of book rating existence.
I use a 3-tier fantasy rating system. It's vibes-based, neurodivergent friendly, and let's be honest, it's the only thing my ADHD brain can actually handle without spiraling into a rating chaos.
Meanwhile, I've got a system.
He says a system like it's a spreadsheet coded in ancient Elvish, which it might be, actually.
Hey, I like the nuance. I need the data, the math, the precision. 5 stars with quarter point increments. Thank you very much.
Right, because nothing says inner peace like asking yourself if a book is a 3.75 or a 4.25 at midnight on a Tuesday.
You joke, but that decimal matters.
Anywho, here's how my rating system works. For the rest of us who rate with our hearts and not an actual calculator, summon it. It's book magic. There's no notes. I'd swear a blood oath. Read at your own peril. It might hit, it might miss. Choose your own adventure on this one. Or off with its head. It's not for me, but if it's your kingdom, rule it.
And if you're wondering what a 3.25 means on my scale, don't ask. I can't explain it. It's just a feeling, but it's a data-driven one.
Sure. So when our ratings don't line up, don't panic. One of us is just vibes. The other is stats. Together, we're chaos and balance. Or just chaos, whatever. So for this one, for Crown of Midnight, I go summon it. Duh. With urgency. Like your emotional well-being depends on it, actually. So you think you know where this series is going. That's cute. That's adorable even. Crown of Midnight takes everything we learned in book 1, lights it on fire, and then uses the ashes to fuel a plot so chaotic, so emotionally devastating that I honestly needed a support group and a therapy snack by the end. This isn't just a sequel, it's an escalation. The stakes are sky high, the twists are neck snapping, and the pacing, zero chill at all. Blink and you'll miss a betrayal, a power shift, or a dagger flying through the air. And our main girl, she is done playing nice. No more tiptoeing around danger. No more pretending she's just some assassin for hire with excellent fashion sense and a book addiction. Oh no. She has leveled up. Emotionally, morally, murderly. I'm going to go with that word. It's intense. It's gorgeous. And it's a little terrifying in the best way. Also, the action is peak. The romance is a full roller coaster. I needed a seatbelt and a neck brace just to survive the whiplash. And the magic? Let's just say someone needs to put a fragile do not emotionally agitate sticker on a certain character or characters before they start blowing holes in buildings. If book 1 reeled you in, book 2 grabs you by the collar, drags you through a portal of feelings, and dares you to keep up. So, verdict. Summon it. Big vibes, bigger emotions, and whatever you think is coming next. Trust me, you have no idea.
Very, very well said. All right, so my review, Crown of Midnight snaps. This is where the series takes off. Throne of Glass laid the foundation, but book 2 does what every second book needs to do. It expands the world, deepens the lore, and emotionally sucker punches you in the best/worst way. Sarah J. Maas doesn't just level up the story, she catapults it. We get more history, more secrets, and maybe the most important turning point in the entire series. The emotional stakes skyrocketed. Trust no one, clutch your fictional pearls, and prepare to feel things. And can we talk about the writing? Clean, compelling, just the right amount of everything. SJM has this eerie talent for cracking your chest open and yanking your emotions out without warning. Love that for her, hate that for me. Again, the one thing holding me back is we are still in Rift Hold the entire time. My final rating is 4.5 dragons. Book hangover incoming. You'll be talking about this one days later. Okay, well that wraps up book 2 in the Throne of Glass series.
Don't forget, Assassin's Blade starts this Thursday. We will see you then. Thanks for joining us for this special episode of Booked for Two.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review to help other book lovers find the show.
Follow us on socials at Booked for Two Podcast for behind-the-scenes content, updates, and sneak peeks. We'll also post next week's chapters every Sunday, so you can read along.
Join us for our live Q&A every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central on YouTube and TikTok. This week's question, which book character would be the absolute worst person to go on a road trip with?
And mark your calendars. This Thursday is the premiere for The Assassin's Blade. Be sure you have your book, Kindle, or audiobook ready to go.
Finally, don't forget to grab your stickers and bookmarks at bookedfor2.com.
Until next time, keep turning the page.